Lori here. It is about 7, well, it's almost 8 o'clock in the morning. I do have to work today, but it's like spring break week, so we're supposed to take them on virtual field trips, which I think should be interesting. But late last night, I did wind up finishing Sisters of Sword and Song, which comes out in June. I really wound up enjoying this book. I wound up picking up a book directly after that, which is Lucky Caller by Emma Mills. I'm actually so happy that my mom picked this. I had her pick a random number out of my whole TBR because this is one of the books that I really want to get to because it's from the library, and right now my library is closed and I have my books for like an indefinite amount of time, so I have about 3 that I really would love to tackle this week. That's going to be my focus this week is my library books. I also want to read Layoverland and Frostheart, the Voyage of Frostheart. Those are the 3 I think I'm going to focus on. I also have the newest Joanne Fuqua book on my Kindle. So I think I'm going to try to focus on those 4 books just so that I can try to have them available to be returned whenever the library does open because I just would like to do that. So that's what I'm going to focus on today, but I literally just started Lucky Caller. I don't know much about it. I know that it follows a girl named Nina, and in the start of a book, her mom's being proposed to. That's all I know. I'm only about 8 pages in, but it seems super cute. I normally really enjoy Emma Mills' books. I've loved all her books. The book I wasn't the biggest fan of was her newest book, or before this one, Small Town Hearts, I think. No, it's not Small Town Hearts. Famous in a Small Town. That's what it was called. And I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I just thought the elements of the story didn't gel together very well. But I'm hopeful that this book will be definitely a step up. So I'm going to go do a little bit of work, and I'm really going to try to read this kind of in my downtime. But yeah, so I will update you guys throughout my day if I can. If not, I'll update you guys at the end of my day. It's like a cold, dreary day out, so I don't think I'm going to be able to go for a bike ride or a walk, which is a little bit upsetting. But I'll probably like do one of my workouts and try to make some progress on this. This book is not that long. It's only 322 pages, so it's not that long of a read, but I really do want to read it. I remember, this was a couple of years ago, but I remember I was sick with the flu or like a stomach virus or something, and I remember I read Foolish Hearts in like a day. So I'm hopeful that will be a similar result for this one because I have been trying to read more books now that I'm home. But okay, so I'm gonna go start work and I'll update you guys if I feel like I need to throughout the day. Bye guys. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm just checking back in. I did wind up making a little bit of reading progress on Lucky Caller by Emma Mills. I'm on page like 22 and I'm just diving into this story. But it does remind me a little bit of Listen to Your Heart by Casey West. It basically follows this girl named Nina, and she's dealing with a lot of changes in her life. It's her senior year in high school. Her mom just recently got engaged to be married to her boyfriend, and that's another change. And she's in her senior year, and she's going to start taking this radio broadcast class. Her dad is like a sports reporter back where they used to live, and she kind of took it as like thinking it would be an easy class, and that's literally all that I know. There was like an element where she encountered someone from her past previous in the book. I wonder if and I think they're both in the radio broadcasting class together. But overall I'm really liking it. I really like Casey West writing. Nina reminds me so much of myself. I was also someone that hated change, still do to this day. And she's also someone that another one of her characteristics reminds me of someone else that I used to know. But I'm really liking her. Normally, Emma Mills' books have such a good friendship dynamic that I'm really looking forward to diving into. I struggled with that in her last book, Famous in a Small Town, but all her other books, I really love the friends that we met. So I'm hopeful that the radio broadcasting elements will add some friends to her toolbox. Right now, the friend that we're focusing on is her friend, and she's like a little bit different. She's definitely more popular, I would say, than Nina is, but I'm really liking it. So I'm going to dive back in and keep reading, and hopefully I'll check in with you guys when I get to page like 50. Bye guys! Hi, Lori here, just checking back in. I did read a little bit more of Lucky Caller as I was doing my work, but I did get to page 30 and I just had to share like a quick thought. The teacher in this book was kind of going over them making groups for their radio broadcasting project, And he kind of reminded the kids, just because your friends are in this class does not mean you need to work with them, because sometimes those group dynamics don't always work. And this is something that before we started long distance learning, I've been trying to instill into my kids, that just because you're friends with someone and you get along with them does not mean you're necessarily the best group mates. And I just laughed when he said that, because that is something I legit say every single day to my kids in my class. I'm like, you do not have to be best friends with the people that you work with. It's probably best that you're not best friends with the people that you work with. But I really like how they kind of broke down the project and kind of assigned each other roles. I'm really curious to see where this book goes. I think that you could tell that these characters are not friends, or really have nothing to do with each other, except for Nina and what's his name? Jamie. Like, they do have a past. They live in the same building in San Diego, I think. So they kind of know each other, but it's more like a flash from the past. Like, they knew each other when they were younger. But I'm really, really liking it. It's definitely a book that I feel like this cast of characters is going to become very, very friendly and maybe become a new friend group, because Nina's kind of dealing with a lot of changes in her life. So I think that would be a nice framework for the story. But I'm going to go back to reading, and hopefully when I get to page 50, I will update you guys. I just had to share that thought, because that's something I legit say to my kids every single time we start a group project. And I thought that Emma Mills did a very good job of saying that to kids who I hope will read this book and realize they do not have to work with their best friends on school projects. But I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm just checking back in. I did wind up reading my pages for The Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. I still really am liking this book. It's just not what I'm in the mood to be reading right now, so I'm going to put it down, and I might pick it up in a couple of days. But I am really liking it. It's just not where my head is at. Right now. But I did make some more progress on Lucky Caller by Emma Mills. I'm on page 60. I'm really enjoying this book. Like, I love the element of a broadcasting class. I love the dynamics of a group of friends or a group of people who are kind of strangers coming together and working together. I like the flash from the past friendship that is developing. I like the transcript elements that we get in this book that are from her dad's radio show, and I hope we're going to get some from her radio show as well, like, in the future. I was also wrong in the earlier part of this clip. This book is not set in San Diego. It's set in Indianapolis. Sorry. I guess her dad lives in San Diego. Someone lives in San Diego. But it's not her. But I'm really, really liking it. I'm liking the family dynamics. The family dynamics are very, very different in this book. There is, like, obviously there's divorced parents, but there's a lot of siblings that I'm really, really liking. And yeah, it's just like a fun read. It's fun. It's one that I'm really excited for. I'm definitely feeling a little bit more connected to this book characters than I did Famous in a Small Town last year. Like, I really am liking this book, and I'm just gonna keep reading. I do have a yoga class planned at 6:30, which I've been going to because it's my relaxing yoga class. So I'm gonna go read a little bit more, watch a couple of more YouTube videos, and then head to that yoga class, and then I'll come in and check you guys in on how far I got in Lucky Caller. But right now, I'm on page 60. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Laura here. I'm checking back in. I did do my yoga class, which was super exciting. Sorry to turn off the for a little bit. But I did make a little bit of progress on Lucky Caller. I'm now on page just about 100. I think I'm, like, on page 95. Still really enjoying this book. It's definitely delving into a more flash from the past, like a relationship that's kind of being rekindled. I'm loving the elements of a radio broadcast class. Like, I liked it in Listen to Your Heart by Casey West, but I thought that it could have been executed a little bit better, specifically in that book. This book, I think that they're getting into the technicalities of working together in group projects, which, as a theater teacher, I teach that stuff, and I think it's really interesting to see it in a book, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. I like that these characters weren't necessarily best friends to start off this project. They're kind of, like, learning how to be friends. They're kind of learning how to work with each other. And I really like Emma's background. She's also dealing with a lot of people in her life with her stepfather. Not a bad stepfather, just a guy that her mom's going to be marrying. But she's just, it's dealing with a lot. I think this book is going to dive into a lot more, but right now I'm really enjoying it. I'm also watching Haley in Bookland's one of her videos, which I'm putting on as background noise. So I'm going to keep watching that. And I'm going to keep reading Lucky Caller. And when I get to page, like 150, I'll probably try to check in. But I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm just checking back in. I did wind up getting up pretty far in Lucky Caller. I did wind up getting it to page 175, which is actually about halfway done. I'm really enjoying this book. I'm definitely liking the friendship dynamics in the story. I'm definitely liking the broadcasting elements. I also like that there are, like, parts of this book that, like, are, like, excerpts from, like, Nina's dad's, radio show, their radio show, and, like, other elements I'm really liking. There's also a hint of a mystery in the story that I am liking, and there is something I'm curious to see if the mini prediction in this book that the characters are making winds up to be true. I'm liking seeing the development of Nina and Jamie's relationship in the past. I think that that's super interesting as well. I'm really, really liking it. I wish the group, the group gelled like a little bit together. Like, I don't think that they're like fast friends, but I think that's the nature of being in like a group dynamic. You're not always going to get along. The one warning I would give about this book, especially if you're a parent or a teacher, there is a lot of, not a lot, but there is some cursing in it. They do say some words. So I don't mind that in my reading, like at all, but I know some people do. So just be warned, there are a couple of I mean, again, it's for high school and middle school kids, so they speak that way, so it won't shock your kids, but just like as a note. But I am really, really liking it. I think I'm definitely enjoying this dynamic a little bit better than other previous books I have read, but I really like the classroom dynamic and the group dynamic. I also like the flash from the past relationship that's being featured. There was also an element about her stepfather being like a YouTuber, and I think that that's like another interesting element. There was a plot point that kind of got dropped. I would like that to come back a little bit more, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm definitely gonna wind up finishing this book tomorrow. I am gonna try to read Chosen Ones in the morning while I'm like awake and like available. But yeah, so that's my plan. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. When I make a little bit more progress on Lucky Caller. When I get to page 200, I'll probably update you guys on my thoughts. But so far, really enjoying it. This book is definitely an better than Small Town Hearts as of right now. I mean, or Famous in a Small Town. It's definitely better than that one. Not my favorite as much of my other one of her books, but I am liking it a lot better than I did her previous read. Very, very good news, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hey guys, Lori here. It's 10:25, and I did actually wind up finishing my chapters in Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. I actually am really liking this book. I think it's definitely an interesting take on it. It also has it's very, very science fiction focused, so I would go in thinking it does have dystopian elements, but it also is very much a science fiction novel. I really am liking the characters. I'm liking the unexpected twists and turns. I'm on page 284. I'm about to head into part 3, and then by tomorrow, I think, by the end of the week, I'll be able to finish this with my friend. I am also going to dive back into Lucky Caller. I actually did get up to page like 175, so I'm going to make a big dent in this today. I'm also hopefully going to go for a bike ride and finish reading Ghost of the Shadow Market. But I just want to do a quick update. This is my spring break, but I am still required to teach, so I'll be popping on here making updates as I can. I hope to read at least 100 more pages before school ends today, which is at like 3 o'clock. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll check in with you guys when I have a little bit more to update on. So far, I'm really, really liking this book. I don't think it's my favorite Emma Mills book, but I am liking it more than Small Town Hearts, which I have said. I do really like the character of Nina. I think that the broadcasting class element is so interesting. I'm a theater teacher, so a lot of the elements that they're learning about is stuff that I always teach my students, like working together, group dynamics, and stuff like that is something I do teach them. So I'm excited to see it represented a little bit in a YA novel. So I'm going to go read, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Laura here, just checking back in. It's about 1:30, and I did wind up making a little more progress on Lucky Caller. I'm on page 213, which means I'm about 60% in with this book. Still really, really liking it. I love books that deal with the arts in any capacity, and one of the sisters in here is like an art major, and her other sister is involved in the spring musical, so that they talked a little bit about theater. As a theater teacher, I miss my students so badly. I miss working on shows, so any element of arts I'm really, really clinging to in stories right now. But they also had a very interesting discussion about the art, and if you're not good at it anymore, if you don't think you're good, like what you should do, and giving up is always seen as so negative in our society, but I think that this book kind of took it in a different way and kind of had a good discussion between two characters that I actually really, really wound up liking. So that was a really interesting discussion for the characters to have. I really am liking the dynamics between Jamie and Nina. I'm loving the flashback moments we're getting from seeing them in the past and seeing how that has informed the future. I'm really intrigued to see how this whole radio broadcast thing is going to turn out. because now Nina's dad is involved. I just think it's such a fun read, like one that I'm really, really enjoying. I just want everything to tie together at the end, and that was a struggle that I had with Famous in a Small Town. But that book did get a shout out in this book, which I did like. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm gonna try to read a little bit more for the rest of the day, and when I get up to page 250, I will update you guys. Bye. Guys, Lori here. I'm back. It's about to be 1 o'clock, and I have a reading update, but it has taken me 5 years, but I have finally got up to 300 people on my YouTube channel. I started this YouTube channel more as like a reading vlog for myself, and the first year I was on YouTube, I think I had like 2 subscribers. I am so proud that I finally got to 300. I know that number doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of people, but for me, it's actually pretty exciting. So I'm really happy. Hope I stay at 300, and sometimes like I get subscribers and then I lose them. So I'm hoping that it stays pretty consistent, but I'm really excited about that. And I hope to do a giveaway for you guys once I can actually safely go to a post office and not feel scared about all that. But I do want to do a reading update. I did get up to page 242 in Lucky Caller by Emma Mills. The drama is real, folks, in this book. I'm really liking it. Now we have 2 fandoms that are competing, trying to predict who their mysterious guest at the end of their show is, but an unexpected development makes it be like everyone is going to be super disappointed. So I really, really like that. I also like how we are still diving into Jamie and Nina's past. Really enjoying that. I also like that Nina, I keep on calling her Emma, Nina's friendship with the other characters in the story are fleshing out a little bit. I want a little bit more of Joy Deep. He's kind of like not the most fleshed out character, but I'm loving Sasha. So I'm really liking it. I'm liking how also her job, like the job of the catering has a little bit more fleshed in. There was a Shakespearean wedding, and I love that. I love books that have jobs. That's like one of my favorite tropes in YA contemporaries is like a different job. So I'm really happy that they have something like that in this read. So far, really enjoying it. I just had to come in and say that I mostly reached 300 subscribers, which I was so excited about, but also to give you a reading update. I'm going to try to tackle the rest of this tonight. That's my plan. But yeah, I have to do a little bit of school prepping for tomorrow, and then I'm going to dive into my reading and go for a bike ride. So I'll talk to you guys when I complete those tasks. Bye, guys. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm back. It's like 1:42, and I made a lot more progress. Well, not a lot more, but quite a bit of progress on Lucky Caller. I'm now on page 293. This is the book I wish Famous in a Small Town had been. I'm loving this book. I think the twist at the end was so shocking and well, not so shocking, but I thought it was like unique, and I really liked it. I also like how this book really focused on step-parent relationships. I thought that was super interesting. I liked the unexpected twist at the end that I did not see coming, and I'm just liking how this book is all coming together so nicely. I'm loving that the characters' friendships are developing, which is something that I love about Emma Mills' books like so much, like how she crafts such really compelling friendships and relationships, and I really am growing to care about these characters, which is one of the massive reasons why I read YA contemporary. I love the romances, but I also really love the friendships. This book is definitely more of a friendship story, but I'm really, really enjoying it. I like cannot say nothing bad about this book. Like, I wish a couple of the characters were more fleshed out, but I thought the plot was well tied together. She always does very, very tightly wound plots, and I think this book is especially like that. It reminds me a lot of Foolish Hearts. I loved the reveal elements. I loved the performance elements at the end. That was just so good. I really can't wait to figure out what happens at the end of this. I'm going to keep reading, and I'll update you guys in a little bit. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Lori here. Just checking back in. Before I get into my reading update, I just have to share my thoughts about the cancellation of BookCon and Book Expo. I have to admit, I kind of thought it was coming. I mean, it's just sad. Like, I look forward to that convention all year, and I really love going with my friends. I get a hotel room every single year. It's just so fun, and it's just the nature of the world right now that everything's getting canceled, and I know it's to keep everyone safe, which is understandable. The one bright spot, I was just talking to my friend because we went to ALA in January, so we did get some books, which I was happy about, so that will have to tide me over until October when we go to Comic-Con. It's just sad. It's just disappointing. But I get everyone has to stay safe. Hopefully in August and September we'll be in a better shape to start having full gatherings again. I still have a Disney trip planned at the end of July. I don't know. At this point, I probably think everything's probably gonna get canceled, but I'm still clinging on to a little bit of hope. I did wind up finishing Lucky Caller by Emma Mills. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was so fun. It was definitely had a nice balance of friendship and romance and just a fun concept for a novel. I think I definitely like this book more than her other books. I think I definitely don't like it as more as Foolish Hearts, but it's definitely above Where the Adventure Ends and definitely above Small Town Hearts. I still need to read, I keep saying that. Famous in a Small Town. There was a book I read last year called Small Town House that I really didn't like as well, but I liked Famous in a Small Town better, but this one was superior to that. This is probably my second favorite Emma Mills book, just behind Foolish Hearts. But really wound up liking this, wound up giving this one 4 stars. I thought the ending was so fun and so cute. And I really like what this book said about friendship. I think it was a very important read, and if you're looking for kind of a friendship-focused novel, I would dive into this read. On Thursday starts the reading rush, so I wanted to pick up something a little bit quicker. So I did decide to pick up The Voyage of Frostheart, which is by Jamie Leiter, and this is just a middle grade novel set in like a wintertime setting. We are still a little bit cold here, but this book is it's almost 400 pages, but the writing is pretty big and it does have illustrations. So I'm going to try to read quite a bit of this tonight and just see how far I can get. So that's kind of my reading plans. I might do one of my smaller workouts. But yeah, that's my plan of attack right now. So I'm going to go read for a little bit and I will update you guys on my progress of Voyage of the Frostheart and let you guys know my thoughts. Bye guys. Hi guys, Lori here, just checking back in. I did get up to page 42 in Voyage of the Frostheart, and I really am liking this. I really do like middle grade series that are basically set in this winter society. Like, this would be a great read to read when you're in the middle of like a snowstorm, because it's set in all winter. There's snow everywhere, and they live in this little community. And Ash is the main character, and he is known as a song weaver, and that is like a bad omen in the society. You can't be a song weaver. That is closely connected to the villains in this book, which are like these big creatures. And the book starts off that he is put in a precarious situation where he wants to sing, and it kind of sets him on this adventure. And he's living with someone who's not his parents. His parents went out on an adventure and never came back, so he's kind of coasting through all the families in this little development, but some don't want to take him because of his abilities. But he is with this Yeti, and I think that they kind of develop like a friendship bond. But that's really all that I've read so far. I really am liking it. I'm loving these illustrations. I'll try to show you a couple. It's like full page illustrations. I think that this book would be great for someone who is like almost ready to start Percy Jackson, because every couple pages does have an illustration. Some of them are big, some of them are little, but they really do accent the story. It's a much longer book, but it's very fast paced, almost like a Keeper of the Lost Cities book that I've been reading recently. Very, very fast paced, and the illustrations do really make it a quicker read. So I'm gonna go read a little bit more, and then I'll come back and give you guys an update. Bye guys. Hi guys, Lori here. I just want to do a quick check-in. I did make a bit more progress on Voyage of the Frostheart by Jamie Littell. I'm actually really liking this book. I'm loving the winter setting. I'm loving the characters. Basically follows this boy named Ash, and he has been revealed to be a song weaver. And song weavers are people that can sing, and they kind of connect to the creatures that are like attacking this world. And it is not a ability that you want. So he's basically being exiled from his home, and he has been told that there's some place he can go to be around other song weavers and possibly find his parents, because his parents are also song weavers. But a crew of people has come, and I'm curious to see if he's going to tag along with them. But I'm really liking it. I'm also loving the illustrations. Like, there's like illustrations on the side. I love it. I'm really enjoying it. It's also a very, very quick paced story. It also handled a lot of issues like what's the word? Like discrimination and being different, and being afraid of something that you're like being afraid of something that you don't understand. And I think that that's something that middle grade authors or stories should really focus on, because it's something that's so prevalent in our society. But I also love, I'm going to try to find the picture. There was a picture here. Let's see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. There's a picture that's, oh yeah. This book also like focuses so much on diversity of characters, and I really like that. Like honestly, they're like fantasy characters, but it also just focuses a lot on characters being different and looking different. And I really like Ash as a character. He reminds me a little bit of Percy Jackson, like a little bit, but I'm really, really liking it. My goal is to read 100 more pages at least tonight so I can make a bit more progress tomorrow, because the reading rush starts on Thursday and I do want to be able to start that TBR fresh. But if I can't, I will just make this be the book that makes me happy, because it does. It's such a fun read. So I'm going to go grab a quick snack and keep on reading, and then I'm going to watch Reagan's readathon vlog, which I'm so excited about. I love watching her as background noise, and I'll catch you guys up in a minute. Bye. Chloe here. I just want to do a quick update. Sorry the lights went off. My mom turned off my lights, and I'm a little bit lazy to get up. But I did wind up getting up to page 130 in Voyage of the Frost Heart. I'm actually really liking this book. I love that it's broken into sections. The first section was very much him being an outcast and him kind of trying to find his way, also him exploring the new powers he is developing. And now this book is turning into a little bit more of a quest. But the one highlight of this book, other than the illustrations, is the just I really like the world building. I really like the characters. I think that it's a very, very fast-paced adventure story, and I really do like that. I'm really looking forward to the quest element. There have been a couple that have been introduced, and I really hope that we dive more into the crew characters that we're meeting, because I think that that would be super interesting. I've said this before. I sometimes struggle with books that have such a small core cast of characters, because I feel like I have less people to like grab onto. One character that I really like was like kind of left behind, and I'm curious if we're going to see him again. I hope we do, because I kind of like him as a character. But I'm going to keep reading, and I would love to get up to page 200 tonight. Don't know if that's doable. That's going to be my goal. But I'm definitely going to watch 2 more videos, and then I'll see what process I'm at. But so far, still really enjoying it. Definitely has big Keeper of the Lost City vibes, but I really am liking the environment. Like, I've never read a book set in like a winter wilderness, so that's kind of cool. And I really like the diversity of the characters. So I'm gonna go back to reading, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Lori here, just checking back in. I'm gonna shut down my reading for the night, but I did get 45% done with this book, so that's actually pretty good. I am on page 203. Really liking this book. I'm really liking the characters are teaming up. I'm loving how the world building is being established. I really still like the setting. I did learn that it's at least a 2-book series, so I'm curious to see how this book ends. I do like the characters in the crew. I like how we're learning about them subtly. I think it would be a lot to like overpower us with all of them. But I really do like the illustrations. I think the illustrations add a lot to the story, and I think it's like a really nice narrative tool. Like this is just one. But I'm really liking the ship as a character as well. I'm liking the quest elements. We have a few quests that were going on, and I like that the 2 characters are now teaming up together. I think that's really, really fun. So I'm gonna I'm gonna like go watch something. I don't know what I'm gonna watch. I have like a couple of things I could possibly watch, but I will check in with you guys tomorrow and tell you guys about my reading progress before I start work, and then we'll see where we're at. But my goal is by tomorrow is to finish Frost Heart. That's my goal. I don't know if I can do it, but I am gonna try. But yeah, that's my plan. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Guys, Lori here. I'm back. It's exactly right at 8 o'clock. I just woke up. I got organized for work. I am going to keep reading Voyage of the Frost Heart. I'm now on page 203, and I really would like to tackle the rest of this book today. We will see. As I said in previous vlogs, this week for working is supposed to be spring break, so it's less chaotic this week, less chaotic with reading. So I'm trying to get as much reading done as I can, because I do want to go into reading rush fresh with a new book. But I'm going to go back to reading, and when I make a little bit of progress, sorry, my phone keeps going off. Technically, people are allowed to text me at this point. But when I come back, when I make a little bit of progress, when I get to place 250, I'll probably come up and update you guys. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. It's about 10:15. I did read about 50 pages of Voyage of Frostheart. I'm now on page 255. Still really liking this book. I think this book has a nice balance between the young characters adventuring on their own and kind of learning what they need to learn about song weaving, but also the adults are still present and accounted for, and I think that that's a really nice balance. I'm loving the diversity of the characters. I'm loving the different species of characters we're meeting. I really love the dynamics between the 2 leads. I think they're very interesting because they're also so different. I also love how he's kind of exploring his powers and learning about other stuff. Really enjoying it. I'm also really liking the illustrations. So I'm just going to keep reading, and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye, guys. Lori here. I'm just here to do a quick check-in. It's about 11:30. I've been sitting for so long. I think I'm gonna I have a prep period. I think I'm gonna like go like work out or something just because my back is really bothering me. And I feel like I've been sitting so much. So I'm definitely going to go for a bike ride later, but I feel like I just need to do something. So I'm going to do that. But I also have made a bit of progress on Voyage of the Frostheart. I'm on page, I'm going to say I'm on page about 300. I have a couple of pages before I'm to that. But really, I'm liking this book. I'm liking the dynamics between the characters. I have one character that I think that is not a good guy, but I feel like Ash might fall under his spell. I'm really liking the relationship between Ash and Tubu, who's this big guy in the back. I'm liking the dynamics between these two characters as well. They're super sweet. And I really like the ship dynamics that we're seeing because some people are for Ash and some people are not because Ash Talons is very, very hesitant. We also did learn a little bit more information potentially about Ash's parents, which I was really excited about. But yeah, I'm about 67% and I'm in the last part of this book, which is called Songweaver, which I think references Ash. So I'm going to do a quick workout and then I'm going to go back to reading and see how much progress I can make. This book has 440 pages, but it does have like a lot of illustrations. So I'm hopeful that I will be able to finish this today and then start reading fresh tomorrow. But I will talk to you guys when I get back to reading. Bye. Here, I'm just checking back in. About to head out on my bike ride because work is almost over for the day. Well, sort of like hour-wise it's over. But I did wind up getting up to page 260 in Voyage of the Frostheart. I'm really enjoying this book. I'm loving the winterish setting. I'm loving the ship elements. I'm loving the crew. I have very deep reservations about one character and his relationship now with Ash. I think it's going to lead to a lot of controversy and a lot of drama. I'm just predicting that. I'm not going to say who the character is because I could be wrong. I could be right. I don't know, but I have deep reservations about a character. I have about 100 pages left, but that is with like some pages that are just pure illustrations, and most of the pages don't even have full words. But really enjoying it. Definitely liking it. Definitely a very strong middle grade read. I would say this is probably like 4.5 stars. Like I'm really liking it. I think it's definitely a series that I will continue reading, almost like the Keeper of the Lost City series, but I'm really, really liking it. I know that this was a former Owl Crepe Jr. book, which I always trust Sally's opinions like a lot of the time, so I'm happy that I wound up picking this up from the library and that I had it for like an indefinite amount of time because everything is closed, as you all know. So I'm gonna go back to reading, go for my bike ride. When I come back, I'll update you guys on my progress. Bye guys. Hi, Lori here. I did wind up finishing Voyage of the Frostheart by Jamie Littell. I actually wound up giving this book like 4 stars. I actually wound up really liking it. I thought that the setting was so cool. I thought the dynamics between the crew. I thought that this was a nice balance between like a fantasy adventure story and also one with a really cool setting. Like I really like the mix between like a fantasy world but also like an Arctic condition. I really like that. I thought that was super cool. I liked the elements of found family. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I really, really love that trope. I also really love the illustration in this. I know we're definitely getting a second book. I found this book to be super charming, super fun. Definitely a series that I would definitely keep reading. It really did remind me or had some reminders of the Keeper of the Lost City series, just one that I really flew through. I really think the illustrations were really, really great. I love the titles. I thought some of the plot points and like the twists I thought were a little bit predictable, but that's because I've been reading YA literature for a while. But overall, really, really fun and a really, really fun read. So I'm actually going to wind up wrapping up this reading vlog. In this reading vlog, I did wind up finishing 2 books. I did wind up finishing Lucky Caller by Emma Mills, which I also wound up giving 4 stars to. Again, another solid read, one that I really, really enjoyed. I really struggled with Emma Mills' last book, Famous in a Small Town. This one I actually wound up liking. It had a similar premise, I would say, not like identical, but I felt like this book was just a more tightly wound story. And I finished reading The Voyage of Frostheart. These both were library books. That's like one of my major goals is to read a couple of more of my library books before my library opens again. But I am going to wrap up this reading vlog. The next reading vlog you guys are going to see is going to be my reading rush reading vlog, and I will start that for you guys tomorrow. But I just want to say I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys have been liking this content. Comment below what are some of the things that you're currently reading, and I'll talk to you later for another video. Bye guys. Stay safe and be well.